Hi everyone. Today our project is to install a ceiling fan and a switch for ceiling fan. We're going to have some fun today, and I think you'll like this project. It's from start to finish. There's nothing on the walls now, and we're going to actually install the switch into the wall. We're going to have to cut sheetrock out. We're going to patch some sheetrock. We're also going to do some painting of the patch. I'm going to show you how to do all that stuff. So when we get done, you're going to feel comfortable that if I can do it, you can do it. So stay tuned. Okay, we've looked at the fan switch in the unit that we're going to be matching. We're going to match this fan switch right here. We made some phone calls. We've got it matched up. It's always nice that when you're installing something, you try to match existing conditions. So that's what we're going to do. Same type of switch, just like this. Okay, this is the area where we're going to be installing the ceiling fan. I just want you to take a look at the craft paper that I installed down on the floor, as utilizing it as our drop cloth. We've taped it down. We've also put some up on the countertop. We've got some up on the counter because I don't want to make a mess in here. So I'm just kind of showing you kind of how I prep things out. A lot easier to do this than utilizing drop cloths and that sort of thing. I can roll this out, cut it to fit. I can bend it, fit it up against the wall, tape it. When I'm all done, it's very simple to pull it off and fold it up and throw it away. And that's the end of that. Okay, what we've done before we do the light switch, we want to turn the breaker off in that room so that we don't electrocute ourselves. In this unit, this is what is called a sub panel. You find your sub panel or your electrical panel to your home and you pull it open, and there'll be a list of your breakers, and what you want to do is you want to find the breaker for that room. Now what we've done is we've turned the light switches on in there, and we can see that from here. So you can look at the breakers, and usually you can see something of a nature of what each breaker is for. Sometimes it's not going to tell you exact, but you may have to start flipping breakers. And so we've already located that it's breaker number 1, so we're going to turn that off. Make sure that stays off. It is. Now we're ready to do our next step in there. Now, if you have a home and if your breakers are outside, if you can't see the area where you're at, you might want to plug an extension cord into that room and install put a radio on or something like that. Or if you have 2 people, somebody can stand there and you can start flipping breakers. Yes, no, or no, 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 yes. Okay, that's it. So that's just a little bit about that. You want to do just single breakers, and they're usually 20 amp or 15 amp breakers. And you know, main thing is you don't want to get yourself electrocuted. So we're all ready to go, and I'll show you what we're going to do with the switches now. Okay, this is where the existing light switches are. What we're going to be doing is installing a fan switch next to one of these switches. So we're going to have 3 switches in a row. We're going to end up taking this out of the wall. So I just wanted to show you. We've got 2 switches here now. We're going to add a 3rd one. And you'll see how I do that right now. Okay, here's the light switches again. You notice it's just attached with 4 screws. All we're going to do is undo those screws. We're going to take the cover plate off. Okay, once you have the switch plate off, if it doesn't come off, you might want to take a screwdriver and just tap it a little bit, because if this has been painted a second time, and let's say they didn't take the cover plates off, this might be sticky and it might not want to come off. You don't want to jerk on it because it could rip a little bit of the paint off, so you want to be real careful when you do this. So you tap on it a little bit. Once you got it loose, you know, work it around and make sure, because if you just rip it off, you don't want to damage the wall. I've seen it happen several times, so you just want to be careful when you do it. Pull that out. Okay, next step is we're going to unscrew these light switches. Okay, one more thing. Just remember, before you start unscrewing these light switches, make sure your power's off. And I didn't tell you before, but there's 2 light switches here. There's 2 different lights in this room. And so both of these go to different lights. So we're pulling these off so that we can put this cut-in box in.